Hello there, students from Beehive. This is teacher Krishna Ochoa, and welcome to our third online class. So this is the class for 7th graders, sections A and B. And this will be the science class for week number 12. So this week we're going to be working on a review and an assessment as well. And you will find that in pages 67 to 69. So just like always, before we start with everything, you have to follow certain steps. So first, you need to get your physical or digital book. You need to enter the Google Classroom, download your document, save it in your science folder, and of course, name it in the following way. And just notice that there is a slight difference in between this name and last format's name. So what happens here is that you need to add the week, which will be week number 12. Then you add your code, name, grade, and section. There you have an example of what it will look like. For example, in week number 12, code number 8, name Krishna Ochoa, and grade and section 7A. And this will help you out to keep track of all of the summaries that you're doing in order, because at the end you have to turn in a compilation with all of the summaries that you have done during these online lessons. And of course, that will grant you some points, so make sure to have that with you. Extremely important, remember to take notes as we move with the class. And just like always, remember that we need to begin with the end in mind. So for this week's lesson, our end in mind is students will be able to review the content from chapter 2 in order to successfully complete the unit review and assessment. So this is the first thing you need to write down on your document, so make sure you take note of this. Alright, so we have some general instructions for the activity today. So you have to answer all of the questions in your Word document. You can find the questions in pages 67 to 69. They are a total of 28 questions. The teacher will provide you with 14 answers and you will have to complete the rest. When you finish, you study your answers and take the test online. So you already have the number of pages where you can find all of the questions that you need to answer. Keep in mind that you need to answer 28 in total. But do not worry, you do not have to answer all of them. I will give you 14 answers for your questions. But of course, I need to evaluate how much you have learned and understood during the lessons that you have taken. That's why you need to complete the rest of answers. Right, so with that being said, let's start up with our questions. The first one is streak is the color of a mineral's powder. Of course. All right, let's continue. Number 2. During crystallization, are arranged to form a material with a crystal structure. I'm pretty sure you remember this. This is something that we studied in class already. And the answer is atoms. Atoms are the ones that are arranged in a certain way. Number 3, fill in the table and compare, there should be an R, two materials. Alright, so I'm going to give you directly the answer for the table that you have in your book. So we are comparing one material that is a mineral and another one that is not. So the first one is hematite and the second one is brick. So hematite is a mineral and brick is just another material. So which one is a natural forming material? Of course, it will be hematite, because it comes from the natural world. Bricks are created by humans. Next one, can form by inorganic processes. Just like we studied, all minerals form from inorganic processes. There are some that form from organic processes, but it takes way more time. Which one of them are solid? Both. Both of them are solid. Which one has a crystal structure? Just hematite. And the next one, definite chemical composition. Remember, that's another of the properties of mineral, that they have a definite chemical composition. So only hematite has it right there. All right, let's continue. Number 4. A rock that forms from many other small fragments of other rocks is a... So remember that we studied this when we analyzed the formation of different types of rocks. And this one will be a sedimentary rock. Keep in mind that those are the ones that form from the combination of other small particles of several rocks. So the 20 minerals or so that form all rocks in Earth are called, obviously that will be a rock-forming mineral or rock-forming minerals. Number 6, describe the texture of this rock. So remember that we have several categories to describe it, but these are the most important ones. So it will have a fine grain and a non-banded rock. Right. Next one. What kind of igneous rock usually contains large crystals? So the answer will be intrusive rocks. Remember that intrusive rocks are the ones that form under ground, and because of that, it is way more probable that they will contain crystals in its structure. Number 8, an igneous rock's color is mainly determined by its... This goes along with another property for the minerals, which will be the mineral composition. Of course, the composition will determine the color of the mineral. And what conditions lead to the formation of large crystals in an igneous rock? So for that, we have to remember a little bit about the process on how igneous rocks form. And here is the answer. Magma that cools slowly under Earth's crust. All right. Let's continue. Question number 10. Describe the texture of granite. Also describe granite's mineral composition and explain granite's origin. All right, let's go with the first one. We have described the texture of granite. So it has a coarse grain, rounded grain, and non-banded grain. Remember, these are the 3 most important categories to describe a mineral's texture. Right, and let's go with the second one, which is describe the composition of the rock. So basically, it is composed by feldspar, hornblende, quartz, and mica. And the last one, you have to explain granite's origin. So granite is an igneous rock. All right, let's continue with the next one, number 11. You find a deposit of organic limestone. What kind of setting did it form? And the answer will be the ocean. So you have to notice that usually limestone is found close or partially close to the oceans because it needs to interact with water in order to form. That is why the answer will be the ocean. Number 14, and the last one. You find a rock with fossils in it. Is the rock more likely to be a sedimentary or igneous rock? So just refresh your mind. So what are the kind of rocks that form from organic material? Are those sedimentary rocks or igneous rocks? Let's find out. It is more possible that it is a sedimentary rocks since they form from the squeezing and packing of organic material, which will be fossils. That's what I was telling you about. Sedimentary rocks usually form from organic material, which is not necessarily only animals, but we are talking about plants as well, all right? Oh, I'm sorry, here are some others. They might be a little bit in disorder, but don't worry, we can continue. Number 12. Shale is a clastic rock, meaning that it forms when are squeezed or cemented together. Rock fragments will be the answer for that. Let's go with 13. It will be a rock contains large, jagged pieces of other rocks, cemented by fine particles. What type of rock is this? So this is something very, very specific. So which kind of rock will actually have all of this in its composition? Well, the rock is breccia, which forms from jagged pieces in other rocks. Right, so now it's time for the evaluation. So I am going to share a link with you to the test that you have to take online. Please, you do not have to use your notes, you don't have to use your summaries or this presentation because it is used to evaluate how much you have learned during the lessons that you have studied. So you have to study a little bit before you take it. Just like I mentioned before, it has a total of 28 questions. So I already gave you the answers for 14 questions. You just have to answer the rest of them. And so, since the total amount of points for this test is 10 points, each correct answer will have the value of 0.36 points. So remember to study, and I wish you the best of luck. That will be it for today's lesson. I hope you are all doing well at home, and please remain safe, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye, guys.